What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris with another set from the Premier League Season 4. This time it's going to be Team Dignitas versus Team Fnatic on the Radiant and Dire, respectively. Team Dignitas lost their first set versus Team Liquid, and Fnatic, I believe, won it against 3D. So I have really no clue if this was supposed to be some sort of winner or loser thing, or I think it's just round robin. So, regardless, we're going to see these two teams battle it out. Fnatic has... well, before, they used to be, in my opinion, pretty inconsistent. Like, they would get a lead and then they would botch it horribly. But nowadays, they're looking really, really solid. They're performing, so far, pretty well in this tournament from the one set that I saw. And I believe it's also the defense where they're doing very, very well. So Fnatic definitely got on top of their games. And looking forward to this game. They usually play a little bit more careful style. So we'll see if that works out against Team Dignitas. Team Dignitas, which is, you know, a pretty solid team also. I don't know if they did hugely well in the defense, which is like the other big tournament that's going on right now, but regardless, they did lose to Team Liquid, so not off to the best start, but still a very, very solid team. And I do think both of these teams should be about equally matched. I have to say that, well, I mean, yeah, overall equally matched. Fnatic, the way they're playing currently, I think that they should have a small edge just because of, you know, mindset and momentum and stuff like that. But Team Dignitas are more than... what? They're more than capable of being Fnatic, especially with these picks. Warlock was used in, what was it, Dignitas versus... oh, man. I don't even remember, but it was one of those games from the defense that was very, very epic. I want to say Mouse. No, it was No Tidehunter. Dignitas versus No Tidehunter. They, Dignitas, that is, chose a Warlock as their last pick, lane to mid lane, and they did very, very well. The Golems did a lot of damage, actually, with the right click. Usually, you don't really think of them as the right click dealers. But yeah, they did a lot of damage, and then those Fatal Bonds came out as well. Warlock was very tanky by the end of it. Picking up Warlock as well as the Visage. We know that Visage is definitely not going to solo a lane. Solo lane Visage does not work. He's going to most likely be part of a tri-lane, and the Warlock going to head straight towards the mid lane. And Fnatic, they're taking their time. They know that they're surprised, and, well, they should be. When was the last time you saw Warlock? Well, last time was about 2 days ago with Team Dignitas. And then the last time before that, well, no one really knows. So no one really knows how to play against this Warlock. I think Fnatic, at this point, knowing that the Warlock is out so early, will do well to pick up someone who would pick up a Diffusal Blade. Get someone like a Naga Siren or something like that, just because you could get rid of that huge damage dealer instantly, or a Riki or something like that. Actually, Riki would be pretty good, both against Visage as well as Warlock. But Fnatic opening up with the Keeper of the Light, standard as standard can be. Going to have good amounts of anti-push, but I don't know if it's going to be enough anti-push for the Familiars as well as the Warlock Golem. I don't know. So Team Dignitas opening up with two very peculiar picks. I was gonna state, like, right before they actually picked up those heroes, that it's kind of weird how they're taking so much time on the first two picks. Usually it's pretty much given. Like, who's still in the pool? Magnus is still in the pool. Still have, well, you still had Lifestealer, of course. Gyrocopter, Wisp, Nyx. Yeah, you had lots of powerful heroes. For some reason I can't actually think of any because of the Warlock and Visage pick. But take my word for it, there are powerful heroes out there that are not Visage and Warlock. You know, you have Clockwork, you have Lone Druid, all those good heroes nowadays. But Lifestealer as well as the Templar Assassin. Fnatic will have that Lifestealer to kind of counter off that Golem. But at the same time, the Golem does, the stun at least, does go through that rage from the Lifestealer. He still will be stunned. And the TA is looking ahead mid towards the Warlock. Mid lane, I don't remember who Warlock was up against in the last game, but the build from... what the hell is going on? Dignitas, why? Why are you challenging me like this? Okay, so Warlock is definitely going towards the mid lane, and he should be able to deal with the Templar Assassin, especially since last game Fogged went for, what, I think 3 or 4 points of Shadow Word. He maxed Shadow Word pretty early, and he completely skipped Upheaval. Usually you want Upheaval if you're going for more support role. But Warlock is probably going to be doing the same against Templar Assassin, and that damage is going to be pretty good against Refraction, actually, especially once you level it up. So TA will have a pretty good burst damage versus this Warlock, but at the same time, Warlock is going to have that heal. He's going to have that nuke if he wants to. And this is almost exactly what Team Dignitas ran against no Tidehunter. They had they didn't have the Visage, but Spectre was the hard farmer, and Spectre got absolutely squished early game. She got nothing. No Tidehunter's tri-lane was vicious, and Spectre pretty much didn't do anything. But then once the team fight started coming out, you had the big rock from the Chaotic Offering, you had the Fatal Bonds, and then think of the Fatal Bonds combination with the Haunt with the Dispersion. So any damage you do to the Spectre is reflected back to you, which is standard. But that damage is also reflected to all of your allies as well. So you have a huge old school combo. Team Dignitas pulling out strats from like, what, 0.72 or something like that, or even earlier. And let's see if it works for them, because last time the Spectre tri-lane didn't work. And they're going to have to think about how they want to change that. It's really difficult to change that, because Spectre is a carry hero who doesn't really have much presence in the lane. Compare her to the Lifestealer. Lifestealer has a huge slow in open wounds. 70% is no joke. And then he, of course, has that magic immunity, so he can keep himself safe. Spectre, the only thing she really has is the Spectral Dagger. And 200 damage at level 4, it's not the highest nuke, but it is something, I guess. But she is melee, she is squishy, and, well, if Aoi plays Spectre again, then she will most likely go for a couple points and Desolate, so that Dispersion protection isn't really going to come out for her. Fnatic going to ban out a couple of jungle heroes as well as that Magnus. They really want to make sure that the Spectre is as vulnerable as possible, as much as possible, because I do think Fnatic are interested in laning the Lifestealer Keeper against that Spectre. And just right off the bat, those two heroes, I have to say, will beat Spectre in a tri-lane. Visage will help out, and Visage is pretty good, but they really need a little bit more damage if they want to actually go aggressive versus the Fnatic heroes, possibly kill off the Keeper of the Light. Team Dignitas, they're just going to ban out a whole slew of the hard lane heroes. Get rid of that Darkseer, one of the best. Get rid of the Bounty Hunter, one of the best. And, I don't know, possibly get out... I was just about to say that! Ah, damn it, I should have said it sooner so that everyone would believe me. But, you know, get rid of the Lone Druid. Just all these heroes who could solo lane and make good use of that time while the aggressive tri-lane is doing its thing. Fnatic instead going to pick up the Nature's Prophet. And I do like this choice, because Nature's Prophet won't just be able to handle lane. He'll be able to handle it just fine, but he'll also add some pressure to the aggressive tri-lane. And the name of the game is really shutting down that Spectre, so if you could get 3 heroes down there, that's pretty good, but if you get 4 down there, or potentially 4 down there, that's even better. Team Dignitas, what are they going to pick up as their last pick? They know they're probably going to go up against a tri-lane, and you know who's still in the pool? Undying is still in the pool. So they might want to pick him up. It will add a huge amount of team fight. Those zombies, as well as the Plague, I think it's Plague, that the Flesh Golem aura, is it called Plague? Well, that aura that the Flesh Golem has will do wonders when mixed with that Warlock plus Spectre. Just a huge amount of amplified damage. They're going to go for the Beastmaster first, so possibly going to get a solo lane of their own. Beastmaster, one of the old school solo lanes. Not as old school as Warlock Spectre, but he can make use of the ancient camp, pulling and stuff like that. Of course, it is a little bit more effective on the Dire, but Radiant, it still will work regardless. And they just want a little bit more map control with that Hawk. The Hawk plus Spectre is a pretty brutal map ganking combo. I know that Fnatic used Beastmaster against 3D. I think it was Hani, got boosted travel on his Beastmaster and then went around roaring all over the place. And more importantly, that Beastmaster roar will do it'll be pretty good against that Lifestealer. Pops off the rage. Don't care about rage. LOL, roar. Fnatic, their last pick is going to be Earthshaker. So getting a little bit more stuns, which they had 0 of. Might as well just load them all up onto one hero. So that Earthshaker pick, they'll finally be able to lock down that Spectre and actually kill her, because Sprout isn't going to do much. Isn't going to do anything. Spectre probably is going to pick up a Quelling Blade, and if she doesn't, then it's just still going to be a Dagger cast, and then just walk right through that. And then, of course, you have the Warlock Golem and the Beastmaster axes to get rid of those trees, so Sprout probably isn't going to be all that useful this game. Team Dignitas with their last pick, it's going to be another support-oriented hero unless they want to switch things up and run Warlock in a support role. But I don't actually see them doing that. It worked so well for them last time. Okay, it's going to be a Rubik. Solid pickup. Some decent spells to steal. Nature's Prophet has some good ones. Earthshaker has some very good ones. Keeper of the Light not bad as well. So Team Dignitas picking up a very, very peculiar team right now. I don't see why they couldn't have picked up the Beastmaster and Rubik earlier on, because Fnatic weren't going to ban out Spectre and Warlock. That just wasn't going to happen. So if they took Rubik first pick, Beastmaster and Visage second pick, then Fnatic would have been like, oh well, let's ban out the Queen of Pain, let's ban out some more hard carries, the Anti-Mage, the CK, and then Team Dignitas would have gotten away with these two heroes again. But hey, they got the lineup that's I think it's pretty good for them, actually. Maybe they wanted the Nature's Prophet as the fourth. That would have actually been really good. Get a lot easier global map control. But the lineup they have is pretty solid, all things considered. So once again, for Team Dignitas, the name of the game is going to be those team fights. Drop the rock, initiate with the roar, or use the roar on the lifestealer to prevent him from doing any damage in that rage. And then have Aoi just sit there and do what Spectre does best. Fnatic, on the other hand, they have a little bit more of a classic lineup, or standard lineup. By standard, of course, I mean boring. I don't see a Spectre on Fnatic's side. Oop, wrong one. So, Fnatic is going to be laning their TA, most likely mid, although Hani moving up towards that top lane with Ira, playing that lifestealer, Flies supporting as the Keeper of the Light, No Tail is on that Earthshaker, and I am missing someone. It's Trixie, who already teleported deep just to get those sentry wards up, or observer wards, I'm sorry. Gonna block a couple of those camps, and at least just spot out when the pulling is happening, if it happens at all. On the Dignitas side, we have Aoi 2000 playing that Spectre. Tides of Time, or Tides of Dota, Tides is playing that Visage. Universe is on that Beastmaster. Way Too Sexy is on that Rubik, sporting one of the sickeningly I don't even know names in all of Dota history. And of course we have Fogged, who's going to be playing Warlock, most likely towards that mid lane. Already those wards are going to be pretty annoying for Team Dignitas. That means no pulling is going to come out in Universe. He most likely will not be able to stand on this lane. It is going to be, wow, a defensive tri-lane for Fnatic, so they're okay with letting the Spectre farm. No Tail is going to be supporting Era, as is Fly. And they're going to go up against Universe, and usually in this situation, Beastmaster abandons ship, because he can't do anything there. You can see already, he's trying to clear off the trees. I don't know how this one survived. And Beastmaster doesn't know either, but he's going to eat that anyway. Unfortunately for him, these spawns aren't exactly going to happen, so Universe was kind of forced to jungle, and Fnatic prepared for that very, very smartly, just by teleporting down there with a couple of observer wards. Now Universe won't be able to do anything unless they get some quick sentries, but I don't even know if they have. They do have sentries. Visage does have a set of sentries. So it's going to be a farming lifestealer versus a farming Spectre. Spectre, in this case, might go for a Hand of Midas. Not the best item to have if you are an illusion-based hero, just because that doesn't transfer to your illusions. But it still works. Spectre with Hand of Midas. Because right now, Dignitas are going to miss the creep kills. They're just going to set themselves up for the late game, where their team fight will get extraordinarily strong. These Fatal Bonds do amplify very perfectly, really, with the late game. Whereas Fnatic, they have a lot more flat values, so you can see Fogged already doing some heavy damage to TA. That's only with a level 1 Shadow Word. And TA is already pretty much dead. The longer Fogged to keep the TA away from the bottle, the better his situation is going to be. I don't remember if Fogged ran a bottle in the No Tidehunter game, but if he chooses to do so right now, it won't be that bad. He'll be able to get a lot of spam out and just do right-click damage, harassment as well. Hani going to get a couple of levels from this, but he's going to be hard pressed. Oh, Fogged might be in a little trouble. Fissure not going to block Fogged in. A little bit of rotation coming out from No Tail. Applying a little bit of pressure to Fogged, possibly trying to force his Shadow Word onto himself. That's not what Fogged wants. He wants to put as much pressure onto Hani as he possibly can. And I believe he does have a bottle out. Fogged in a little bit of trouble. Fissure happening one more time. Fogged a little bit careless. He had his bottle. No, that was actually just a salve. Fogged didn't have anything close to a bottle. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why the hell Bear was all the way over there. Universe is going to just Observer Ward up, actually. He does have a set of sentries, which cleared off the old sentry, so he's going to get this easy pull camp. But Fogged should not have died there. He knew the Earthshaker was around, or at least willing to come to the mid lane. And he stuck around at like 200 HP, not exactly the smartest thing to do. That gave Hani first blood. On top of that, Hani now has a bottle, plus a regen rune. And Hani and No Tail can make something happen. All the while, Ira, as well as Fly, pushing down this top lane. Looks like they want to actually go for a tower right now. Using that Illuminate, not even bothering to carefully last hit with Era. They don't have a Ring of Basilius, but they should have enough to kill this off. This is 2.5 creep waves, something like that. And this tower should drop or at least take a lot of damage. All the while, Universe still clearing off these easy camps. Is he stacking the Ancients? He will stack the Ancients, but it's going to be perfectly spotted out by Fnatic.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The top tower is going to drop. Nothing really to do about that. In the meantime, Dignitas with Aoi on the bot lane, they're not interested in taking towers because they know that they just need all the gold they can on the Spectre. It's actually Tides is just neutraling, doing the pulls, and doing a triple pull actually, so not bad there. The Lifestealer does drop the tower. This does mean the Universe can come back to the lane, but a level 1 Beastmaster, you have to be careful. Even though Era is only level 4, that is more than enough to kill Universe. Opening up with the Feast already, kind of unnecessary. Oh no, there's the Fissure as well as the Cauda Blast. It's going to be perfectly necessary. Universe in a huge amount of trouble. Going to turn around and try to go for Era. Era might die to this. No, No Tail actually draws the aggro, and that is going to be enough to kill the Beastmaster, just barely. No Tail should be alive unless one more tower shot. No, he's going to be fine. Very, very risky dive by Fnatic, but a kill is a kill. Well done by them. Hani now, with that regeneration rune active, hunting for whoever he could find. Gonna find Fogged. Fogg does have 3 points in that Shadow Word, so he should be fine. That's gonna burn through the refraction charges extraordinarily quickly, and Fogged still on this lane. Universe right now is just gonna try to survive. Hopefully he won't get blindsided by another Earthshaker fissure. Earthshaker really just wants to use his mana, then go back to the base. Hani gonna close the distance. No Tail a little bit too slow. Fogged running south. That will keep him alive, at least for the moment. The Earthshaker just wants to chop up his fissure before he goes back to the base, because he already uses Clarity. Might as well get something out of it, right? He's gonna find Illusions on the bot lane. Possibly hold it for the TA. But Beastmaster's finally finding some time to farm, all the while Aoi, 28 for 1, went straight for his Tranquil Boots, whereas the Lifestealer is rushing his Hand of Midas, does have enough gold for it right now. So we're going to see what Aoi wants to do. It could be a little bit more of an early pushing build from Aoi. Possibly get himself a quick Vanguard, or even a... Oh, he's going to find No Tail. They knew he was at no HP. Just one swipe is enough to do it. Now Hani in a little bit of trouble. The Grave Chill, plus the Soul Assumption, but the shield is up. And Tide's Nuke will do no damage, but Aoi picking up a freebie. What's with these heroes and hanging around at such low HP? Come on. That's kind of silly. I mean, Spectre popped 6, instantly used the Haunt, and Earthshaker was sitting at like less than 100 HP. That's the kind of mistakes that should never happen. Aoi gonna go into Poor Man's Shield, so he's getting a lot of early defensive items. That damage block plus the armor and regeneration from the Tranquil Boots is gonna help him stick on the lane, but there's really no one contesting that. Trixie all the while farming his Hand of Midas up, so it's going to be double Hand of Midas for Fnatic, and we have no Hands of Midas for Dignitas, so they're just going to rely on the old-fashioned farm.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They're going to make a small push onto this bot lane. They do have the siege creep. Don't think they actually have the creep wave enough to kill this tower, especially with Keeper of the Light doing this. Huge damage over Tides and Aoi. Mid lane might be in a little bit of trouble if they can get this Levitate onto Hani. They cannot though. Way too sexy. Pulled out of the jungle. Gonna lose. Well, he didn't lose his clarity. He already maxed out on mana. The Universe is just gonna abandon the top lane. He pushed it all the way out, using those axes to guarantee last hits against the Lifestealer. Now he's gonna try to kill these easy camps again. He needs to get to that level 6 so that Dignitas can start being aggressive. Set up the kill with that roar, just so that Spectre can come in and get that Haunt kill. Hani gonna get a rock dropped on his head. Shadow Word is on him as well. This should be enough with the Boar slow to kill him. It is. That damage coming out from Warlock with the gank from the Boar. And that is going to mean a small push onto this mid lane. Keeper still in the bot lane handling that. No, it's actually going to be Fogged sending out the Golem to the Ancient camps. They could pull it one more time. I guess they're going to stack it and then use the Golem to tank. Hey, that works, I guess. Unfortunately, it didn't work, so it's going to be unfortunate. The Golem's still going to tank, though. A little bit of easy experience for Universe. Should give him his level 5, as it does. Might even get him close to 6. Do you see a little bit of movement from Tides? Just using those reserve rewards. They want this mid lane, Dignitas that is, they want this mid lane to be a playground for them. Spectre is going to go rush up that Yasha. Just get that movement speed. can see maxed out the Desolate. 65 bonus damage is no joke, especially when that damage is pure. I believe that damage is stopped by BKB, however, so Rage should be able to save Lifestealer from that extra damage. Still, Spectre just free farming, does already have a Yasha. Spectre getting a lot of early game. Could have potentially went straight for the Radiance, which is one of the old school Spectre builds. I like to go for that build. I just like Radiance on this hero. But it's not going to happen. I think it would have actually been a lot better, because he's going to have to keep up with Era on the top lane, farming that Lifestealer. If he's not going to go for Hand of Midas, Radiance is one of those ways to get that farm. It's a little bit more of an investment, right on the straightforward investment. But it still is an effective way of getting a lot more farm, because you could eventually, when you get your Manta Style, just split push everywhere, and then Haunt does that much more damage, especially with the new change to Haunt, seeing as though the illusions don't disappear when you cast Reality in. So that's, how much time is that actually? 5 seconds? All the while your your illusions are burning people with Radiance. That's a pretty sick combo right there. No Tail, as well as Hani possibly looking towards Fogged in the mid lane. He does not have his Golem to drop, so he should be fine regardless. No Tail is going to back off. Trixie Hand of Midas, Era Hand of Midas, both farming the jungle. Whereas Tides, level 5, wants that level 6 to get a little bit more damage, a little bit more stun on the map. You can see the positioning from Fogged. He doesn't know what's up here. Well, now he does, but before that Hawk was there, he didn't know it was up there. Positioning himself down south, closer to Way Too Sexy, so he can get that Levitate up. 2-2 is the score. Both teams just farming it up. Yasha is up onto Owie, and he can even try to go aggressive onto Fly. If he gets in range for that Desolate, and that's it. The rock is going to get dropped in the mid lane. Hani, with all the bonds on him, is going to drop like a rock. Pardon the kind of pun. But also, Nature's Prophet dropping to Owie, haunting Reality Rifting in. Not Reality Rifting, just Reality. No Rift there. I didn't exactly see how the Nature's Prophet dropped so low. My apologies. Might have been farming. I don't think he was involved in anything in the mid lane. Everyone from Dignitas is still very healthy, so if it was a gank, it was the worst gank of all time. Regardless, Owie finding himself a second easy kill, even picked up 1 assist onto that TA. I believe it was the TA. So Owie's doing pretty well for himself. What is he going to go after this? Is he going to go straight for the Manta Style? Manta Style illusions do carry Desolate, which is pretty insane. Now I do see Tides in the bot lane, might be in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't have his familiars or anything spawning out. No, he actually saw them with the Observer Ward, so he's going to be just fine. Tides is in no trouble whatsoever. One thing to note on the Team Dignitas squad is that their ultimates are pretty much what's going to make or break their fights. Their ultimates are also very long. Whereas Fnatic, they will have the Echo Slam. Has a pretty long cooldown on that, but they could fight without it. It's another stun. Yes, it is another stun. Yes, it is a lot of damage. But they're not as reliant on it as the Dignitas squad. So they're going to have to make very specific timings on their fights. Universe does have Aurora up, but taking a blast and a Fissure. A little bit out of position. He will be fine. Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through. Is Nature's Prophet going to teleport in for this? No, he's not. Fogged is here to support as well. Beastmaster going to get it home safely. Rubik almost at his level 6. Whereas supports for Fnatic, level 4 on the Earthshaker, level 5 on the Keeper of the Light. So Dignitas' supports actually out-leveling Fnatic supports. See another rotation. Fly and No Tail heading towards the bot lane. That burst damage will do a number, especially considering Visage has not picked up a single point in that Gravekeeper's Cloak. That would keep him alive. But this is dangerous. He does have a Familiars in a pretty good spot, so Fnatic, they have to watch out for when they actually break the smoke. But as I say that, the Familiars move away, and Fly moving a little bit closer. They know exactly where he is. Owie is going to be in huge trouble because Era teleported in with Trixie, but Owie is going to not Reality Rift Reality away, but he's going to run straight towards the Familiars. Owie living at 6 HP. Can he actually get out of here? The Psionic Trap is going to fly, and Tides is here to support Owie. Is he actually going to make it out? He's going to make it out. Miracle escape from Owie. Quick haunt into a Reality, just bringing him a little bit closer to the tree line. And then running and praying, and 2 points in dispersion. That's just enough to keep the Spectre alive. Fnatic, they burned a lot from that. They took the Nature's Prophet out, they took Era out, using that Infest's taxi cab move. They, of course, had everyone else on the bot lane as well. They didn't get anything. I guess they got a tier 1 tower, which is kind of good. But still, they wanted that Spectre. They needed to kill that Spectre because she's farming pretty darn well. 75 for 5, 12 minutes in is no joke. I also want to point out this build on Hani. Saw it in one of the other games. I think it was from the defense. Don't exactly remember who it was, but they went for a Templar Assassin movement speed based build. Got the power treads, got the drums, and then followed that up with a quick Manta style. Usually you see more burst coming out from TA just because you have, these only limited number of refraction charges. But the movement speed differential on the TA was huge in that game, and so that's exactly what we're going to see here. Just keep up with the target, chase him down. Sonic traps or no Sonic traps, you're going to stick to your target. Universe is finally level 6, and I don't think he's used his Roar yet. Might have used it in the mid lane to open up with that kill that I caught the tail end of. But now Fnatic, they have to be careful because Dignitas' initiation just got very, very long. Of course, they had Owie, but Spectre Haunt isn't really initiation, at least not in this stage of the game. Brock is up for the Warlock, as is the Mech. Last game Fogged played the Warlock. He went for a very, very tanky build after. Picked up a cloak, I believe was building towards a pipe. I don't know if he ever finished it. But power treads, cloak, some health items, and then Warlock was just pretty much unkillable. Ira might be the target of this. No, actually, Universe not making any rotation. It's actually going to be a Fisher onto Fogged. He does have a rock that he could drop on the enemy. Fogged taking a lot of damage. Does have his mech, though. Is going to pop it perfectly. Ira going to take a roar as teleportation comes in. It is going to be way too sexy. There's the rock being dropped onto Ira. What got stolen? It is going to be Illuminate. Way too sexy to charge that up, but Ira taking a heavy amount of damage. Going to use Armlet toggling. Will he get out alive? Using that Infest. Tide does have one more nuke. It's not going to be in time. The Rage is back up from Ira. The only one to drop from Fnatic is the Keeper of the Light. Acceptable losses, but they're also going to lose this tier 1 tower. I don't think they have any chance of denying this one unless they're a little bit suicidal, which I hope they're not. Tower's going to drop to the Warlock, using that big golem to slap down that tower. Good bait from Fogged. Look towards more of that. I mean, he held that mech until the last possible second just to draw Fnatic closer and closer into his team. Then he dropped the rock, the roar got dropped. Don't know, I think Haunt was also used as well. Brought Spectre to the back end of the fight. But Fogged is going to get even tankier, so he can continue to do those types of things. Usually, when you ask people about the Warlock, people say, oh yeah, he's really soft, but he's pretty good in a team fight. But if you go, point booster, straight Aghanims, that's what he went. I remember now, Aghanims. Get a couple more golems, get very, very beefy. Then it's going to be very, very difficult for the enemy to just kill you off before you unleash your ultimate. Your ultimate is going to come out so darn quickly. Rubik with the blast is going to farm up neutrals like nobody's business. Unfortunately, while Dignitas is doing this, Fnatic, they're taking Roshan. And Roshan is pretty much already dead, unless Spectre wants to do. No, Spectre doesn't even have Haunt, so it's going to be a free Roshan going away of Fnatic. That's going to give Ira a double life. And did manage to survive just barely last fight, using that armlet. Fnatic are also stacking up this Ancient camp. Dignitas have been trying. They've mostly just been killing the Ancients after Fog drops his rock on them. On the enemy team, that is. You can see this tanking build from Warlock coming into play. Especially once he gets that Ogre Club and that Aghanim Scepter. He's going to be a very, very large threat. Push onto this tier 1 tower. Fissure going to fly. Universe in huge amount of trouble. Ira's right next to him, opening him up. And Ira's still on the chase. He should be fine. No, Sonic Trap's going to slow down Tides. Whoa, my god, that guy didn't stand a chance. Familiars are going to stun Ira for just a little bit. I don't think it's going to be enough. They're actually going to stun Trixie. There's no ultimate from the Warlock, however. Fatal Bombs are going to fly. It's going to make this a little bit easier for Dignitas. And Hani taking a ton of damage from that roar. Spreading the damage as well. Visage on the back end with those Familiars took down the Earthshaker, who took a truckload of damage from these Fatal Bombs. 20%. A lot of damage right there. Now Trixie on the run. He can teleport himself out there. No stuns are available to Dignitas. So Dignitas getting jumped by that Lifestealer, but taking retaliation kills, both in the TA as well as the Earthshaker. TA, a very, very valuable kill to pick up. Who actually picked the first one up? It's just the tower. She got a little bit too close. The roar from the Beastmaster was there. He is going for an Necronomicon. That's gonna be Earthshaker's gonna be happy about that. A lot of Echo Slam damage extra, and you know usually Earthshaker dies after he Echo Slams anyway, so it's not like the what is it called, Last Will is going to matter all that much because he's planning on dying. Just getting that extra damage, getting the auras for that Spectre is going to be very important, who now does have a Manta Style finished up 17 minutes in. Another 1,000 gold in the bank for Owie. I believe the next order of business for him is to pick up a Diffusal Blade. So his Haunt Illusions could do a little more damage, and also he'll become a chasing machine once that happens. But he's just going to farm down this bot lane. Hani's going to move down towards this lane. Is going for the speed build. Drums as well as a Yasha, eventual Manta Style on him. Mid lane, a little bit of trouble. No Tail, got the rock dropped on him, and he's going to drop to the Visage. Those familiars doing a lot of damage. Still have most of their charges. Now they're going to go clear the Ancients once more. Like clockwork, Dignitas. The rock is up, use it to get a kill, clear off the Ancients. Then once the rock is up, you rinse and repeat. However, the gold advantage is still going in favor of Fnatic. They're just getting more farm. That's those double hands of Midas at play. EXP slowly bending towards Dignitas, but still Fnatic holding the lead in that respect as well. And if this continues, I mean, Ira is more than capable of killing off the Spectre who died alone. Sorry for missing that one.
Structures are fortified.
Once again, Trixie with Ira inside of him. Way too sexy, stole the fissure, gonna unleash some Fade Bolts perhaps. Slow down this push just a little bit. Draw the creep aggro, but the tower looks like it's already gonna drop. Familiar's looking for stuns. Gonna find him on Ira. So this tower could possibly be denied. No, it's not gonna be denied. Levitate onto Ira though. Hani wants in, but nuke onto Ira. He does have his Aegis though, so he doesn't really care. Way too sexy, dropping so low, so quickly. The Shadow Word to mech, not enough to save him. Hani though, getting a little bit too close once again. The axes are gonna fly. Fog is there for the right-click damage, but he doesn't have his rock, so he can't actually do anything. Ira is gonna pick up Visage. No Tail's a little bit stuck. No, he's not. Actually going to move right in for the Echo Slam. You don't want to cast those illusions. There you go, Echo Slam doing heavy damage to everyone. Fog trying to get on his way out of there. Owie is going to try to Spectral Dagger over the edge. He's going to live at 4 HP. Are you kidding, Owie? Again, no. This time Trixie's going to teleport in, get that kill. He picked up the Diffusal Blade, so this rock, when it comes, is not going to be doing enough. Fog can teleport out there just barely. Meantime, Visage was in the back end, managed to pick up the Earthshaker. But this fight definitely went the way of Fnatic. Axe is going to fly, Fade Bolt as well. But Fnatic still have their Aegis, so Ira is going to play suicidally even more so. Familiar's on the front end, spotting things out, looking for a stun, although I don't think they have it on cooldown. And Dignitas, caught with their pants down. They didn't have that chaotic offering to drop onto Fnatic. That really costed them that fight. If they had that, it would have been extremely different. It would have not really been... it would have been very short-lived. Diffusal Blade would have been there immediately. So, I guess Fnatic in the end did get my did go with my advice. Get someone who could build the Diffusal Blade. Usually you don't see Diffusal Blade on Nature's Prophet. But hey, if you're going to go up against a Warlock who's going to have 2 of those golems eventually, you want that Diffusal Blade to get rid of those golems. So Dignitas a little bit on the back foot. Looks like this time this isn't actually going to work out for them as well as last time. Fog taking some pretty heavy damage in the mid lane. Because Owie being stalked by Hani. Do you think the Templar Assassin has enough to kill off the Spectre? The Spectre won't get that Desolate bonus. Owie, he's going to get the hell out of here. He smells something coming. Even sees those Nature's Prophet teleports. Dignitas, they need Owie to get a little bit bigger. But Lifestealer's just getting way too big, way too quickly. Even went for Vlad's offering. He's going to get a little bit more lifesteal. Get that aura for his team. Actually, I bring Basilius as well, so aura overlap, no big deal. And Dignitas, they just need to take a good 5v5 fight. I still think that, even though the gold advantage and experience advantage firmly in favor of Fnatic, if everything comes together for Dignitas, the Fatal Bonds, the Chaotic Offering, the Haunt, the Roar, some good spell steal, maybe a Fissure, then Dignitas can make a fight. That'll rely on Fnatic spreading out, and they've been doing that pretty decently so far. Only the Rocks have only caught 1-2 people. Looks like Universe actually went for the Force Staff, looking towards more initiation. Using Tides as bait on this top lane. But he's so close to his tower, I don't think Fnatic are actually going to take this bait. No, Trixie going to go down to the Ancient camps. Dignitas wasting their time just a little bit. Owie even joining the party, although he's just going to farm while the rest of his team pushes or does other things. They see Era on the top lane, though, and the Aegis has timed out. Way too sexy, though. Ran out of smoke. Dignitas possibly looking towards a tier 1 top tower. Someone's got to go back and deal with Hani, who's pushed down this bot lane. Dignitas just don't have any map control at all. They have one ward outside of their base, and that one's about to time out. Whereas if you look at the warding from Fnatic, they have drawn pretty much a straight line all the way up here, saying that everything past this is going to be our territory. Haunt in now. They're going to go for Era. Where's the roar? They already used it. Era is just going to walk right on out of there. There's the rock, though, onto No Tail. Coming in with no HP. Is going to drop with the horses onto everyone. The golems are beating down Era, and Era is going to drop. Echo Slam stolen. Going to do some heavy damage to Hani, but there's no more disable here. Golem is going to survive. The top tower is a little bit vulnerable. Trixie is going to get out just barely. The Familiar is not going to make it in time. That's the fight I was talking about. Dignitas found their opening, used the Haunt, used the Roar, dropped the Rock with the Fatal Bonds. That's 3 on the sidelines for Fnatic. Even though Dignitas are very much so behind, don't count them out just yet. If they keep making those fights happen, they come back into this. The problem, though, is that this cooldown on Chaotic Offering is just so damn huge. They can make a fight happen every 3 minutes. But Fnatic could make a fight happen every, well, a little bit less than 3 minutes. But they don't even need that Echo Slam. It didn't really do much damage even. They can make things happen pretty much whenever they want. It's all going to be about that Life Stealer, that Illuminate Blast, as well as the TA. So Dignitas have to pick their battles very, very carefully. Now that they do have an Aghanim Scepter and 2 Warlock Golems, though, their fights are going to get substantially stronger. Nature Prophet can instantly take one out of the fight. That's pretty much a given at this point. And that multi-kill was the latest reward of all time. But if Rubik can hold on to this Echo Slam, that'll be pretty huge for the next fight. Although, cooldown 180, yeah, he's only going to have a little bit of time. It's a 30-second window to cast that again. Not sure if he could actually make that happen, especially when you have another minute on the cooldown of the Rock. Universe as well as Way Too Sexy. They're on the hunt. They're going to find No Tail. And Force Staff forward. Universe can open up with the Roar. What has been stolen? It's going to be Fisher, but it's not even needed. But Earthshaker, as soon as he died, he bought the Blink Dagger. Now Way Too Sexy can try to get out of there. He's not going to escape. Universe on the run, but there's the Haunt in. Where's the Spectre going to go to? He's going to go towards Hani. Use the dagger, but miss. He knows where Hani is, but he can't do anything about it. Here comes the Familiar, is trying to stun Hani a little bit. No, Hani's on the run. He's going to pop out his refraction. Owie almost has his dagger on cooldown again. But look at this movement speed from the TA. Even popping off a regeneration rune. No one's going to catch up to that hero. Now, he's going to turn it around. Owie's going to get initiated upon by Era as well as Trixie. He's going to try to teleport out. It's not going to be in time. And now Ty's Dota. He's going to teleport out. Will it be in time this time? Oh, just barely. He's the only one who's had any sort of luck with that TP out. 2 down from Dignitas, and everyone from Fnatic's on the bot lane. Might as well push it, right? No, might as well go for a Roshan. That's also a good way to spend your time. 40 seconds on the sideline. Spectre doesn't even have Haunt. This is a free Roshan for Dignitas. For the Fnatic, I'm sorry. Era's going to get himself a double life, so even if he gets stunned by the Roar, even if he gets stunned by the Chaotic Offering, gets bonded to all of his allies, it's not really going to matter, because he will just come back and then clean up the rest of Dignitas' team himself. So those series of kills, definitely not the best thing to happen for Team Dignitas. Needed the Spectre alive. 437, she's falling very much so behind as far as the gold chart is concerned. And Hani does have his movement speed. 414 movement speed on him. He's going to stick to his targets like white on rice. Way Too Sexy might be the target. Doesn't have a Blink Dagger, but Invisibility Rune. And Way Too Sexy, you are way too dead unless you run. Like right now. Oh, no, here comes the... Doesn't even need it. Templar Assassin with 2 hits, killing off Way Too Sexy.
So we could not let you live.
Now, Hani's just going to be just fine. Meantime, the mid lane, where the next fight is going to occur, fogged looking for an opening with that rock. He's gonna get a slow onto Ira. There's the rock. No Tail gonna get into position for a Fissure. Good Fissure blocking off the rest of the team. There's the Echo Slam onto Fog. He's just gonna barely survive with that mech, but he's gonna drop Ira, not taking any damage at all. The Haunt is gonna come in. Owie is here as well. Gonna probably go for Ira. He does take out the Aegis. But that's it. Dignitas have already lost 2, and I don't think they can kill Ira again. Roar is down. The Haunt is down. They're going to find Ira. And, oh, wow, they actually killed the Keeper of Light. These golems. I said it before. Don't quite believe it myself. They do a lot of damage, guys. Because of the, I think this one got changed. 60% to do 150 damage. That's insane. Dignitas still ahead as far as the kills are concerned, but the game's still not going very well for them. Tides is going to try to hold out against Hani with the help of Owie. Stun is going to help, but the Blink Fissure making a perfect wall. Owie and Tides are both going to drop. Owie especially getting blocked a little by the creeps will not have enough damage. Hani is going to let him slip away. Is he? No, he's going to go for the chase. Owie taking a huge amount of damage. That meld is not quite enough to kill him. Now Way Too Sexy is going to come in. Has Nature's Call. Not very useful in this situation. In the meantime, the mid lane is where Ira is pushing that out. Fnatic just all over the place. Trixie on the top lane even. All lanes are being pushed to Dignitas' doorstep. Dignitas, they have nothing that they can do about it. Spectre simply does not have enough farm to hold off things by herself. And with such a huge cooldown on this rock, you could see kind of why Warlock isn't picked as much. And the same reasoning as to why the Enigma isn't picked up anymore. It's that huge black hole cooldown. And Fnatic, you can see their lineup pretty representative of the lineups as of late. No huge cooldowns. Like, Gyrocopter has the call down. That's not too big. Beastmaster getting picked off in the meantime on the bot lane, I believe. No, the top lane, actually. That's Ira with teleportation from the Nature Prophet. Now, mid lane might be in a little bit of trouble. Still another 40 seconds before that rock golem is up. And Fnatic, they're pressuring on all fronts. And Dignitas, they simply do not have enough heroes to deal with this. If they had maybe 2 more heroes, they might be able to deal with this. Trixie pushing out the top lane, has a Hex now. Ira in the mid lane, opening up on that tower. Taking a lot of damage from those familiars. But Illuminate is going to mess up that creep wave. Meantime, the bot lane, it's going to be a 1v1 fight. Hani versus Owie. I do believe this is going to be a tie. They cannot kill each other. They both need support. Look at this. They're both fighting off their illusions. What a gentlemanly fight right there. Trixie has fallen back. He get himself a little more farm, 2,200 gold in the bank, but Dignitas press back all the way back to their base means that they're not going to be able to farm their jungle or anything. Wards from the Dire making sure that they're aware of any farming that goes on. They're going to stop it as well. Dignitas, they do have their ultimates up, so they could take a fight right now. Once again, even though they're very, very far behind, I'm not going to count them out just yet because of that Fatal Bonds. Amplifies your damage so much. Fnatic, they know that everything is up on Dignitas, so they're just going to fall back for just a little bit. I don't think they have any huge items that are coming in. For an ultimate orb on Lifestealer, possibly a Lincoln Sphere, probably a Lincoln Sphere. I know the Primal Roar is on the other end. If you could block that, then you're just golden as Lifestealer. You just keep on running. Or killing. Whatever you prefer as Lifestealer. Desolator as well. Ira is stacked. And Hani does have his Manta Style. Bought up a Helmet the Dominator. Very interesting. Hani not going really for a damage build at all, but he does have more than enough damage to do so. Oh, Universe, you do not want to be there. Fissure to open up. No Tail going to blink forward for that secondary stun. And all the birds die in one hit. Their rock gets dropped on Hani, and here's the Haunt as well, but Hani is tanking all of this. He's going to finally drop, however, Trixie teleporting in from the back end. Where is Ira? That's what I want to know. Ira is nowhere to be found. Hani's on the run. His fraction is going to save him, and the wall is going to save him twice. No Tail going to blink forward. Going to get that Echo Slam off. Not the most damage, but Owie still in a little bit of trouble. Ira wants to get in here. Already used the Rage. The wall working against them now. Wait, stole Meld. He's going to be just fine. Use that Meld hit onto Ira. Levitate him into the air. Slowed down by the Visage, and Owie going to try to kill Ira. He is going to have enough damage to do so, but he's going to trade his life in exchange, and Hani, with the double damage rune, is going to clean up the rest of the Dignitas squad. The only one to live is Fogged. 1 Warlock Golem available. Purge Charge, I believe, was used. Nope. Well, definitely used now. And Fnatic, they lost Ira, but they still have Hani. Going for a very, very awkward TA build. going for a lot more utility, relying very heavily on his skills. Earthshaker, though, with that initial fissure, looked like he was saving his allies, and then making a wall for Team Dignitas. But this tower is going to drop. With only two alive for Team Dignitas, they really don't have a shot. And now the open wounds on the Fog. Roar is going to hold Era out just a little bit. But Hani still doing that damage. The movement speed on him is intense, as is the attack speed. Nature's Prophet picks up that kill. Meantime, the Tier 3 tower has dropped. Base for Dignitas is in full breach, as the TA going to head towards the bot lane. No Tail going to blink straight forward for Tides. 1-2 hits plus 1 from Fly. And that's the death of Visage. There's the GG call from Owie. They've had enough. Spectre Warlock worked once, might not work again. Maybe these teams know that, hey, we could just kill them when they don't have the Warlock Golem up. So Fnatic taking game 1 versus Dignitas. Dignitas, unfortunately, with not enough farm on the Spectre, with their huge cooldowns, unable to withstand the constant pressure from Fnatic. I'd also like to point out the good use of the Infest, Nature's Prophet, as well as Lifestealer. Caught Dignitas off guard a couple times there. So I'm just going to speed through this. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you didn't, well, let me know what I can do better. Feedback is always welcome. Moving on to game number 2. GG.